Good morning, everyone. So we'll be discussing about VPC, right? In the VPC, we are discussing about like subnets. Okay, let me share my screen. We'll just draw one architecture. As per that, we're gonna discussing about like what is internet gateway, what is route table, and also we'll be discussing about what is in a public subnet, private subnet, those things that we'll be discussing about in the today's session. Okay. So let me just try to quickly log into the drawer timer and we'll just try to create it. Yep. And the first we discussed about we have a region. Within the region we have a VPC. We'll just try to draw the same way. The first we had to set the region where you are trying to deploy your applications. It depends on that which customer that you're trying to serving right now. Let's, for example, my customers are US locations. We had to choose the US data center. If my customers are in, let's for example, in India, we had to choose the Mumbai region or we had to go for the Hyderabad region. So depends on that where your customers are there, to whom you are trying to serve the request. That's where we are trying to understanding about like whom you are trying to request the where we can able to deploy the applications. That's exactly that we are trying to understand right now. Okay, that's fine. This is nothing but like my region. Within the regions, we can just look at my screen. We have to go for the VPC right now. So we had to go for this particular option name. It is called as a VPC. This is we had to go for it first. Let me just try to. This is my thing, but my VPC. Okay, so within this VPC, what we have something it is called as a availability zones, right? Let's go to here. We had to go for the availability zones right now because the whatever that we're discussing about like subnets is always resides within the availability zones. So first you have to understanding about like what is exactly meant by availability zones. See, every region has different availability zones. Let's say, for example, if you just go to this particular if we go to this AWS global infrastructure map, if we just go with the first link, we can just look at my screen like what's exactly it is. We have 37 regions that we have completely. In that region, we have completely 117 availability zones that we have. If we come down, this is nothing but like we have these particular regions, right? If we just go to here, we can see this is nothing but like our India. Where is India? Here is India. We have one Hyderabad region is available, and we have one more. We can see the Hyderabad region. We have three availability zones. If we go to Mumbai, also we have availability zones. Three is there. If we go to any other location like Sydney, we can see the three availability zones we have. And Melbourne also we have three availability zones I have. Like that, if you just go there, we can look at my screen. There are different regions out there. Whatever it is, see in a red color, that nothing but like they are trying to setting up the new data center in this location. You see that what is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? They're trying to setting up one data center out there. And if we just go there, we can see Chile. They are trying to setting up one data center is there. We can see Germany is coming soon. Also, we can see that. So when I started teaching the cloud and DevOps, the time there is no Hyderabad data center, but now We can see that they launched in 2022 with the investment of 35,000 crores that we have put over there. The first understand what is exactly meant by region. We know that region is nothing but like data center. So we have to understand about like what is a availability zone, what exactly, and how you have to understanding about like availability zone. So we can see that availability zone is a distinct isolated location within the AWS region. This is designed to provision the high availability and fault tolerance of the application. See that each availability zone consists of one or more physical data centers. So each with the independent power, networking, connectivity, ensuring that if one experience an outage, other continue to operating it. So see, with the data center, what they have done, they have divided into these bucket availability zones. So why? Because see, if one data center is got collapsed, there is other data center is available to make your the services up and running right now. That is the reasons they have created something. It is called as a data availability zones. So each and availability zones contains the nothing but like a servers only. There is nothing to worry about it. We can see that in one availability zone we have different data center. In other availability zones we have different data center. In other availability zone we have different data centers. When I talk about data center, it's nothing but like the collection of physical servers is what we can call as a data center, right? Now that is what the meaning of this particular the region what we have to understand. If we just go there, we can just try to understand that we have the availability zone. What we can say that within the availability zone, we have the, within the availability zones, we have something it is called as a subnets. So subnets are nothing but like, it is segment within the VPC. So in that we have the public and private subnet, but I want to talk about the public subnets today. Tomorrow I'll talk about the private subnets. This is nothing but like my private subnets, sorry, public subnet. I'll talk about what is public subnet, everything. Now here we are within this particular subnets, you are trying to creating any resources. You create EC2 instances, you create database server, you create any resources, whatever that we need all the resources trying to creating within these particular subnets. That's how we are trying to understanding about like what is meant by the subnet. Subnets is nothing but like in the segment. Let's say for example, you have 100 square feet hall that you have, but in that you have to divide it into the different rooms. Like say for example, one is for training and one is for let's for example for workspace, another is training, one other room for the your HR cabin, another room for your let's say CO, and one other is for meeting room. See like that, I just want to created the different rooms to make understanding about like how we can able to create different segments within the big hall it is. So the same thing that we should understand when you're trying to creating a VPC, within the VPC we have to create a subnets to understand that to organize your servers. When I talk about something it's called organizing servers, what exactly mean? So we have different types of servers that we have. One is we have the web servers. We have something it is called as a we have the web servers and we have database servers and we have application servers. That's exactly we have the different servers that we have. If we just go for it right now, we can see that we have the web server and we have the application server, and after that we can go for the database server. So we have the different servers that we have. See, in that some of the servers we can able to export the internet, some of the servers we should not export the internet. So to protect, to provide the more security to your servers, to your application, that is the reasons we have to provide something it is called subnets. So right now we have the subnets. I'll talk about in detail. Now within the subnets, you are trying to creating all the resources what you need. I may need something, it is called EC2 instances, or I may need any other thing. Definitely, I'm just trying to keep everything within this particular subnets. Okay. Now this is the diagram that what we are trying to implementing. So whenever you want to get the internet to your VPC, when we discuss it, we require something. It is called as a internet gateway. Without internet gateway, we can't able to get the internet access. That's the reasons. Definitely, we require something. It is called as a internet gateway. So, when you're trying to creating the time, you'll understand more about it. We can see this is nothing but like my internet gateway. We have to attach to the VPC. So let's start here, and we'll be discussing about like step-by-step process. So you'll understand that. Why I'm just trying to creating everything here right now. So first log into your AWS account. Okay, let's go there. Yep. This is something that we should understanding about like, my AWS account that I had logged in. The first we had to go for the VPC. So let's go to the first, click on the here. If you just go down, we can go for the networking and content delivery. In that, we have to go for the VPC here. VPC stands for the Virtual Private Cloud, where you're trying to creating isolation locations on the data center. Nothing but like you are owning a part. Um, let's say, for example, if you just go for any flats, let's say there is a community, they're trying to sell the apartments. In that apartment, you wanted to own particular portion that you are paying that how much they are charging and you are going to stay in that particular flat, right? The same thing, you have the collection of data centers available. In that, you have to own a particular part to keep your resources securely so that hackers will not hack your applications. For that, we had to create it this particular the VPC first, right? Yes, Saik.
Hello, sir. I just have a quick question, a small doubt. So last time we created an EC2 instance. So that is for creating how to say, uh,
That is not
like an
within the
actual
VPC,
machine.
right?
Yeah.
So
So VPC is like what is VPC compared to that?
see, whenever you're trying to creating any resources, it isn't about like
Uh-huh.
EC2 instances. You create database servers, you create
Uh-huh.
EC2 instances, convert into the web servers, application servers, you create load balancers, or you will create the auto scaling. See, everything we have to keep it in a secure network. So that is the
Okay.
reasons we have to create something. It is called the VPC here. So secure network in the sense is nothing but like you have the, let's for example, you have a client X. The client X
Hmm.
has to be deployed on application in the cloud. So every client, we have to create an isolated location where we are trying to keep their resources in a secure place. Let's, for example, next
Okay.
client Y will come. We have to create one different net with different network for the client Y. We are trying to keep all the resources, the client Y inside the other VPC we are trying to creating it. It is nothing but like isolated location where we are going to keep all your resources which required for the applications in a secure network.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Understood.
Yeah. Now
Thank you.
here we had to go for the VPC first. Click on the create a VPC. In that VPC first, we had to create it the name of the VPC. I'm just let's go for the clan hyphen test hyphen VPC. That is nothing but like our VPC name. See, every VPC will have the IP address range. So we had to provide the 10.0.0, and here we had to put the 0, and here we had to provide 16. The 16 is defined that how many servers that we can able to accommodate within this particular VPC. I explained very clearly the 16 is what we can call it as a subnet mask value. So the maximum subnet mask value for IP4, see we have IP4 and IP6. Now I'm creating IP4 address, right? So the maximum subnet mask value that we have is a 32 here. So if I'm just trying to mention about like 32 minus 16, you're gonna get something, it is called 16 over there. So when I talk about the 16 is nothing but like we have to calculate the 2 to the power of 16. That means you're going to get the 65,536. These are the this many IP addresses that we can able to accommodate within this particular range. So let's say, for example, if I'm just trying to provide the 10.0.0.0, if I'm putting something, it is called as a 28 here. Okay. Now, when I'm just trying to putting 28, we should understanding about like how many IP addresses that we are going to get it. See, each and every IP address will allocate to the your EC2 instance, nothing but like virtual machine. Now, 28 means 32 minus 28. So what is the value that you're gonna get it, right? You're gonna get something, it is called as a here, it is a 2 and we have to get 4, right? So when you're getting the 4, we should understanding about like 2 to the power of 4, nothing but 16 that you're gonna get. If we just go for again 32 minus here, if I'm just trying to use something, it is called as a, for example, 24 I have used. We can see that we have 6 and 8 that we're gonna get. That means we have to calculate 2 to the power of 8. So everything is maximum is 32. We just need to subtract see the 2 to the power of we can see about like 8 that you're going to get the 256 right now. This is how that we are trying to understanding about like ranges. When I get the 256, that means we can able to accommodate the 256 IP addresses. This is how that we trying to understand about the how to calculate the ranges. It's very important because we should understand that how many IP addresses that we need for your VPC, because how many servers that you are trying to accommodate, those many IP addresses we have to reserve for your utilizations. Here we can see that I'm just giving 16 right now, and after that we'll discuss about tenancy here. Tenancy is nothing but like where you want to run your server. You want to run on the hardware which is nothing but like shared hardware. So I explained that there is something it is called as a, when you're booking a cab on Ola or Uber, if we go to the Rapido and all, there is two options that we're gonna get it. One is nothing but like shared one, and one is dedicated only for your ride. So when I go for the shared ride, they're going to get one more person inside the cab, and they will just share the price between these two persons, two passengers. When I go for dedicated, the whole price I have to take the burden and I have to pay the whole price it is. The same we have something it is called default and dedicated. So default is something that we should understand that where they can able to accommodate on the same hardware, other customers also can able to create it their servers. It is nothing but like share the cost between to them. When I go for dedicated, is nothing but like they are going dedicated only for my uh, they're dedicated only for my organization. So it is costing is very high. So we have to select the which one you require. You want to go for dedicated or you want to go for the default tenancy. Let's, for example, if I go default tenancy, if we come down, we have to click on the create a VPC right now. The VPC is created. So this is nothing but like my VPC ID, and we can see about the status is showing about like it is available, and we can just look at here. This is nothing but like how the VPC is getting created. Now within the VPC, what is the next step right now? The next step is nothing but like you have to create the availability zone. Within the availability zone, we have to create a subnet, right? So let's go to here. If we see there is something, it is called subnets. See, I explained about like very clearly what is exactly meant by this subnets. See, subnets is nothing but like segment of your VPC. That means if you want to arrange your servers in a organization manner, and also you have to provide the another layer of security, whom you want to give what kind of access, definitely we have to go for something it is called subnets. See, subnets is one of the most important topic in the VPC, because whenever you are trying to creating any resources, all the resources will be within the VPC. Within the VPC, we have to create a subnets. Within the subnet, you are trying to creating resources. We can see that a subnet is a logical isolated section within the virtual private cloud. It is essentially subdivision of your VPC IP address range. That's what we have to understanding about like what is exactly meant by the VPC here. We can see that it is a logical isolated section within the VPC, especially the subdivision of your VPC IP address range. See, it is allows you to group resources and control the access, where the subnets typically categorized public or private. See, public means anyone can able to access in the internet. The private means nobody can able to access the internet until unless the person who have the accessibility, only they can able to create the access these particular instances or resources, whatever that we are trying to creating. We can see that subnet is a range of the IP address within the VPC, and you can create subnets to organize, segment your resources like EC2 instances for better control and security. Subnets resides within a single availability zone, which distinct location within the AWS region. You can have the multiple subnets within the single VPC, allowing you to create different network segments on based on your needs. Say I'm talking about like within this bucket, the VPC, we can able to create n number of subnets, how many you required. So each and every subnet will have the different IP address range that we're gonna get it. We can see that now we had to provide the we had to create a subnet right now. This is nothing but like my VPC. We can see about the client test VPC. If we come down, we had to put the subnet name. The subnet name, let's say for example, I'm just trying to provide the client public subnet. We can see that in which availability zones that we have to create a subnet. See, in this particular Mumbai region, we have three availability zones. We have 1A, we have 1B, and we have 1C right now. There are three availability zones that we have. Let's say, for example, this is nothing but like my three availability zones that we have. So go for this particular the 1A. And after that, if we come down, this is nothing but like the VPC that we have. So we can see that we have 10.0.0.0 and divided by 16 is nothing but like my IP4 CRDR block. And we can see that we have to, this is a VPC IP address range which I have given. Within that range, we have to create a subnet. Nothing but like it is a segment, or we can see that it's clearly telling that the subnet is a range of the IP address within your VPC. So we can provide the series how you want to create or what kind of address that we are trying to create. Let's say if I'm going to provide the 10.0.1.0, and we can see that I'm just putting the here 24. See the range whatever we have trying to providing, it has to be within this particular range what we have given for the VPC. So if we give the same thing right now, we can see that it will just throw the error because it is going to overlap in this particular IP address what you are trying to giving it. So you can see same IP address you are giving it. It is trying to giving the overlap right now. So if you just go to here, if I go for the subnet CIDR calculator, see you don't need to do much. You don't need to worry about much. If you go to this particular subnets calculator and all, you are gonna get right now. See, for example, if I'm gonna put the 10.0.0.0, we can see what is the range that we have to give. The maximum is 32, but here if I go for the 24, if I'm giving, we can see that how many IP addresses that we are gonna get. You're gonna get the 256 is nothing but like my IP address range. That means IP address will start from 0 to 255. So that's the reasons we can see that. See, for example, if I given the 10.0.0.0, put the 24, that means you're gonna get the 8. So it is equal to 256 IP address that we can able to accommodate. So it will start from 0 to 255. You have to remember this. Now the here actual IP address you're gonna get in AWS is 0 to 251. What about this four IP addresses which is rest right now? There's four IP addresses. No, it is AWS. Yeah, AWS using for the reserve purpose. So that is what we have to understanding about like what is the four IP address that we have. So right now, if you just look at my screen, this is what the IP address range that you're gonna get. So 256 here right now, we can see subnet mask. It is this is how it is gonna start right now. So let's say for example, if I'm gonna provide the series with the 10 dot, we can see 0.0.1. We can see that this is nothing but like my input ID, IP address. We can see about like this is a range. You are just if you click on the calculated, we can see this is the input And also we can see that the same thing that we're gonna get it right now. This is nothing but like how it is gonna start. See, some of the IP addresses, if you look at here, it will start from 172, 182, 192, right? So they are going to purchase those IP addresses from the providers and they're going to use for their organization level. So even if you go to there, if I type what is my IP address here, we can see that if I just type what is my IP, then you'll understanding about like what is your IP address here. The IP address is, we can see this is IPv6 IP address. This is IPv4. We can see it is starting from 49. It is starting from the 49.206.133.182. If I just go for my client IP address, we can say that, yeah, I'm sure that if you just one second, I'll show you about like what is the range that we have given to our client. If I go to log into this particular the portal, just a moment, click on this sign in. One second. 3, 4. You can just look at my screen. This is nothing but like we implemented. There is similar kind of service. Only the names will be changed, but the concepts everything same. If we go to any cloud, if we just go to one resource, okay. If I go to this particular resource manager, you can see that we have the one second. This we go back here. Uh, there is a resource groups. In that resource group, for example, if I go for the one second. There is a which I log into the iStar. GI India West. Second, go for the resources. If I'm just trying to search for the VNets, we can see that we have just created there are different VNets, right? VNets is nothing but like a VPC within the AWS. Here we're going to call it as a VNets. If we just click on this particular the VNets now, you see that what is the IP address range we have given. We have given 10.24.0.0.0 and we have given for the 12. This is for one VNet, right? If I go for the another VNet, we can see it is starting from a 10 dot to 24 and divide by 12 here. For example, if I go for the another VNet, we can see that 10 dot 5 dot 0 dot 0 dot 16 here. You see that the IP address range is going to be changing right now. If I go for the data science QA VNet, we can just look at my screen. It is starting from 10 dot, right? If we go for the asterisk VNet 3, you're gonna get the 10 series. If we just go for the sales scan VNet staging, this is where exactly we deployed our application. If we go to, we can go there, we can see that the IP address range. The series which start from 10 dot series is a free of cost. But the series it start from the 192.168 dot we can see 0.0.0. This is all or nothing but like it is going to be cost us. That's what we should understand right now. What is this particular address space that we have right now? It is gonna 192 dot the 168.0.0 and we can see about like there is something it is called 16 right now. This is how that we should understand about the how we can able to create this particular IP address range. So here if we just go for the Azure, we have the service name, it is called as the VNets. The VNets are nothing but like, it is similar kind of service is nothing but like VPC. If we go for right now, we can see this is nothing but like range I'm giving for my subnet right now. We can see the range, whatever that we are giving it has to be within the VPC. So now if we come down, we have to click on the creative subnet right now. So is it clear? Anyone have any questions right now?
No.
If you have any small questions also, please ask. Definitely, I'm just going to clarify. Without understanding, don't say yes, because these concepts are very, very important. When you go for any client interview or when you deploy any project, definitely you have to start from the scratch, from the VPC. Without creating VPC, there is no project will work on the world. Any project that you're deploying in the cloud, it could be AWS or Azure, GCP. Definitely, we have to create a VPC. Within the VPC, we have to create subnets. In that, only we are deploying the applications. Yeah. Anyone have any questions right now?
Um, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
So IPv4, we have used 16, where for the VPC, and for the subnet we have used 24. So how do we know what number we need to add in there?
Let me make you understand this point. Great point. Uh, you can see that. Uh, you can assume that this is the VPC here. Okay. For the VPC, you have given the what is this? You have given 10.0.0.0 and 16. Nothing but like how many IP addresses that we can able to accommodate within this particular range? 65,536. Sorry, 556. This is the range of the IP addresses. If we calculate it 2 to the power of 16, because maximum is 32, right? 32 minus 16, you're going to get 16. 65,536 IP addresses that we can able to accommodate within the VPC. This point is clear.
Yes.
That means these many servers we can create in this network. That is the meaning of this. Now, I'm just creating the one subnet here within the VPC. This is a subnet. You have 1,000 square feet of area you have. In that 1,000 square feet, you wanted to divide this 1,000 square feet into the three rooms. You take my office, my office is 1,000 square feet. In the 1,000 square feet, what I have done is I have created one training room. I have created one workspace. I have divided the another room for the CEO office. There are three cabins I have created in the 1,000 square feet. This complete space I have given for the walking area to go to the pantry. For pantry also we have given some space. So within the square feet, I have to plan how many rooms or how many cabins I want, and each cabin how many square feet it is going to accommodate. So let's say if I come to my office plan, I have just created one training room where it has a capacity of 15 sittings. If I come to this particular workspace, the workspace has capacity to sit 24 members. And if we come to this particular cabin, there's a bigger cabin where we can able to accommodate 10 people. So like that, I have made the plan within this 1,000 square feet. The same example we have to understand. You have the VPC, you have created one VPC. Within that, you can able to create 536, 65,536 servers that we can able to create. Now you creating a subnet. In the subnet, you have to decide how many servers that you can able to accommodate. Let's say, for example, I wanted to accommodate 200 servers. So if you want to create 200 servers, you have to calculate the range. What is the range that we have to provide? See, for example, if we just go there, we can see that you just go to this calculator, CIDR calculator right now, where it is. 1 second. Yeah, if we go to CRA calculator, see we can able to experiment like this. If we am just trying to provide the 25 range, I can get only 128 IP address. I can get it. If I'm just going to put the 224, we can see that I can get the 256 IP address we can get. So this is suitable for me. So that what I can do that I can just go there. I'm just trying to mention about like how many IPs that I can able to accommodate means I'll provide the range 10 dot. See, it should not same what you have given for VPC. The range we have to give different IP address 10 dot 0 dot 1 dot we can see 0 divided by I'm just giving 24 right now. See, in this one means so whenever you are trying to creating any servers within this particular subnet, all the servers IP address will start from 10.0.1.0 and if the same if you're creating a new server it will start from 10.0.2.0. That means within this particular subnet we are going to creating the 256 IP address. So it will start from 0, it will go from the 255. That is how we have to calculate the subnet range. It is purely depends on that how many servers that you want to accommodate within this particular subnet. This will tell you about the client. So how many servers they want to create it. What is IP address series they required. See, for us, the client has given the 192 series. That is the reason we have kept the 192 series. So without knowing the series what the client required, we can't able to create the VPC. Definitely this information we have to collect from the client. You have to talk to the client. We have to get the information. What series that you want to create it, we have to mention over there. So you're clear now?
Yes.
Let's say you have to creating another subnet. So when you're creating another subnet, we can able to accommodate like this. So 10 dot, I want this series should be, let's for example, 0 dot 2.0, and we had to go for the, let's say 24 right now. That means 250 servers I can able to create here. The 250 servers I can able to create here. And here also we can able to create 256 servers we can create. But for example, if we create another subnet, we have to give a different IP address range. 10 dot, let's for example, 1 dot 0 dot 0, and I can provide the 24 here. See, the IP addresses, whatever that you are giving, we should not overlap. So if the overlaps, you can't able to create a subnets. So that's how we're trying to understand. I think everyone cleared these points. Could you please confirm yes in the chat box if you understood? If I didn't get any response, miss like you guys not understood. I can see that one response on the chart. Yes, the companies will basically provide the IP addresses range. We are creating one VNet, sorry, VPC, and they have just tell you about like what series that required. You can see that.
Okay. No, I was just curious. I mean, usually if the companies are providing, then we don't have to do these the subnet calculations and all, right? Like they will have.
Calculations, you have to do that. You should have
Oh,
that
okay.
idea, but range
Okay.
they will give it to you.
Okay. Understood. Okay.
You can see that when there is one VNet we are creating. Um, we are trying to setting up the one VPN to the client. They will tell you about like what is the IP address. We see that we require the resource IP addresses. We have to create the NAND gateways. We have to create the route tables, everything that we have to create it. So they will just give the IP address range what they require. We can see that
Okay.
this is on-premises servers which they have the client. They're using the series of IP addresses 172.28.1.20. We can see that this is a series they're using it 172 series. So they'll tell
Mhm.
you about like what range they are using that and how it is works, everything. Range they will
Okay.
give, but you have to calculate it that what is the range I can give so that feature you may not get the issues that you don't have the IPs to create a servers.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah. I think it's clear. I can see the couple of people only write the. What about others? I can see Eric. Do you have any questions? Boris, Chaitanya, Glory, Harshit, Jeva, Swarupa, and Priyanka, Shrestha, Salvi. Okay. If you guys respond, it will be good. Okay. You have to make a habit how to communicate, how to express your questions. That's very important. Now click on the create a submit right now. See, we are starting simple thing, but I'll give very good big architectures. You have to create the time. So get ready for that. If you want to create such kind of architectures, first understand these things are very important. After I'm giving task, no, I didn't get this means it doesn't meaning. Okay, that's fine. Let's move on it. Now we can see that we have the created one subnet. Now let me try to create the EC2 instance within this particular subnet. This is what I'm doing right now. We have created the VPC. Within the availability zone, we created one subnet. Within the subnet, there is a EC2 instance that we have to create it, right? Let's go there. And I have to go for the EC2 instance right now. Look at the steps. See, it is completely different what you have seen in the beginning. First, what I have to do, I just need to create the launch instance right now. And we have to provide the server. The server name, let's say, for example, we can able to provide the server right now. The server name we can see about like, the web server, and we have to provide the subnet. Now here, if we come down, choose any OS, that's fine, absolutely. As of now, I'll talk about the Amazon Linux here. I'll choose the Amazon Linux kernel 5.10, and we require instance type t.micro. That is absolutely fine for me. And if we come down, we can see that there is a key pair, right? The key pair, I can use the existing key pair. And after that, network settings. Here you have to understand very clearly. When you create a VPC, it has own security groups. It has to select the within the subnet within the VPC which one you are creating. Now, if you look at here, this is my default VPC. If you click on the edit right now, if we come down, we can see that we have to select the VPC what you need. See, there is a client-test-VPC. This is what is the VPC I want to create it. And if you click on the VPC right now, and the subnet, we can see that we have only one subnet within the VPC. If we have the multiple subnet, we'll show you about like which subnet we have to choose. Now, this is my VPC. Within the VPC, we have one subnet right now. We are trying to creating this particular server within this subnet. I explained very clearly any resource that you're trying to creating, all the resources will be within the VPC, within the VPC to within the subnet. This is nothing but like subnet, right? See that we have the subnet. You have this bigger room. You divide the cabins. Each and every employee, they will sit inside the cabin. If you go to the big organization like Wipro, I went to the Wipro last 10 days. We can see there is what we can call the ODC. For different teams will have different isolation locations so that they can't communicate to other team members over there. So right now the same, you're trying to creating isolated locations here. We can see that this is nothing but like my subnet right now. We can see about a client hyphen public hyphen subnet. See, if we require the public IP address for this instance, we have to enable the public IP address. See, public IP address required whenever you are deployed any application, you want to access through the web browser. Definitely, we require the public IP address. Without public IP address, we can't able to access any resources, whatever that we need. So we have to go for the enable the public IP address. Now, if we come down, we can see that we have something, it is called as security groups. Security groups is basically what kind of traffic that I wanted to allow to your server. So let's say, for example, you want to access the HTTP web server, we have to open the port number 80, right? The security group, once you create within the VPC, same security group I can able to create, I can use for multiple servers. You don't need to create every time new security group. No, it doesn't require. Now let me try to create the one security group right now. The security group name, let's say for example, Klehan-VPC-security. That's what we had to understanding about like security group name. After that, we had to provide the description here. This is nothing but like my description. And once we just created this security group and we provide the description right now, one second. Uh, Something is wrong. Okay. As of now, it's fine. Okay. Now we had to provide the security group name, description also provide. Now we can see that I'm just trying to provided this particular SH protocol. And after that, I'll tell you what protocol that we required. Yes.
So, I mean, before you do that, just so I'm understanding correctly. So first we have to create the VPC. So like including like we have to give information on subnets, the root tables, internet gateway, whether it's NAT or whatever. And then we have to look at the security groups that you spoke about. If we don't create the VPCs first, will the when we try to create the EC2, it will take the default VPC, right? If it's
Yes.
available.
Yes.
Okay.
We
Okay.
should not
So
create any server within the default VPC. We have to always create
of
all the instances within your
mm,
VPCs.
okay. So first VPC and only then we have to go to launch
Yes.
EC2. Okay. Understood. Okay. Thank you. Just clarify.
No worries. Yeah. You can see that. Now I'm just enable the SSH protocol. The protocol is basically to establish a communication. If you want to access the remote server over this particular cloud, definitely we require SSH protocol. If we come down storage, the storage we have to go for the 8 GB, that's fine, absolutely. Now we have to click on the launch instance. When I click on the launch instance, your server it is going to creating right now. If we go there, we can see that we all instances. I can see that my instance is running status. Now the magic will happen. You can't able to connect your instances. I'll tell you, you have to tell me what is the reason right now. If we just go there, one second, I'll close it. I'll open in another tab. Click on the EC2 right now. Go to the instances here. You have the instance that we created within the VPC. Let me connect the instance. Let's see what will happen right now. If we go to the click on the connect right now, we can see that I'm just trying to copying that username at the public IP address. After that, we have to go with the putty.exe file. Go to appearance. We have to go with the connection right now. Provide the 60 seconds and go to SSH and authorization, credentials. We have to click on the browse. We have to upload a key pair. Test-VPC. Now I click on this open right now. See whether you are able to access your server or not. We can see that we are not able to access the server to the outside the internet. You can tell me what is the reason, anyone? Why I can't able to access the server? Anyone can now able to access my server in the world. What was the reason?
Maybe it has a public IP or no? No.
If we have the public IP address, then only we can able to connect the instance, right? I have the public IP
Yeah.
address already. You can see that I have the public IP address. If you look at the private IP address, it starts from 10 dot 0 dot
And not
1 dot
yeah
we can see
0 dot 1
33. We have whatever the IP address range which I given the subnet, it has to be within the subnet.
Hmm.
It's a private server. How we can say that it is a private server, Boris? And what factors that you are considering?
Do we need port?
Uh, we enable SS port, right? That's fine. The port number 22. I'll tell you about the reason, okay? If you look at the diagram very carefully, I told you about something, it is called as the internet gateway. If you want to get the internet access to the VPC, then only we can able to access this particular VPC outside the world. Without the internet gateway, we can't able to access anything to the internet. The first try to understand about like what is exactly mean by internet gateway. See, internet gateway, it is nothing but like a virtual router. That's what we should understand that. If I'm just trying to start something, it is internet gateway. We can see that internet gateway is a key component that allows a virtual private cloud to communicate with the public internet. That's what we should understanding about like what is exactly meant by internet gateway here. So whenever we talk about something, it is called an internet gateway. It is a key component that allows a virtual private cloud to communicate with the public internet. See, whenever you want to get the internet or to your resources, whatever that you're trying to creating within the VPC, definitely you are going to get the internet with help of this particular internet gateway. So with internet gateway is like a virtual router to your internet to your VPC. It is going to work as a bidirectional, what we can say like a component here. So it's a key component that allows a virtual private cloud to communicate with the public internet. So it acts as a bridge between your VPC and outside the world. It is going to enable the two-way traffic flow from resources within the VPC to the internet and vice versa. So whenever you wanted to access any resources to the web, definitely those require the internet gateway. So right now we can see that internet gateway enables resources within the public subnet of your VPC to connect the internet. Now here, if we want to perform the two-way communication, first we had to create the internet gateway. So how can we able to create the internet gateway? Right now, first go to here. If I go to the same search for the VPC, yeah, if I'm just trying to searching for the VPC right now, and I can see that we have the options right now. It is called as the internet gateways. Click on the internet gateway, create internet gateway first. We can see that an internet gateway is a virtual router that connects the VPC to the internet. Now we have to first provide the name of the name of the internet gateway. Say Clehan hyphen test hyphen VPC. This is nothing but like sorry a test hyphen internet gateway which I'm creating. Now click on the create internet gateway. Now this is nothing but like my internet gateway what we have created. Now we want to attach this internet gateway to whom? We have to attach this internet gateway to the VPC. Let's go to here and we have to attach this internet gateway to the VPC. Click on the attach internet gateway. We can see that if we just go there, you have this particular VPC. To the VPC, we attach the internet gateway. Now the internet gateway is a entry point to the internet. Now, if you just look at here, every subnet will associated something it is called the route table. See, this route table is basically defines what traffic you wanted to route towards your application. So here first we can just understand about like what is meant by route table. Very, very important. When I say about like route, it is nothing but like what traffic that you want to allow to your server, whom you want to give the access to your applications. You want to give access to everyone in the internet, or you wanted to give access to particular IP address range. Only those people can able to access the application. So how we can able to protect your application from the hacker attacks? That's where we have to understanding about like a route table. See, route table is nothing but like set of rules that calls as a routes. See, that determines where the network traffic directed within this particular virtual network, nothing but like a within the VPC. Each route specifies a destination like an IP address range and target like internet gateway, NAT gateway, and the subnet. See, route table is basically it is crucial for controlling the network traffic flow within the VPC and connecting the other networks. So route table is basically define the set of rules whom you want to give access, whom you want to give the route to this particular application. That's very important. So it is very important for controlling the network traffic flow within your VPC. That's what exactly we should understanding about like what is exactly mean by the route table. Route table is basically it has the set of rules. It is what we can call as a routes. We can see that each route specify the destinations like you want to provide the IP address range, or you want to provide a target like internet gateway or NAT gateway, or you want to talk to the another subnet. So how we wanted to do that? That's where we had to go for something. It is called as a route table. We can see that route table acts as a map for networking traffic with your VPC guide lining packets to their intended to destinations. See, for example, if I want to travel from source to destination locations, if I'm very new to that, let's for example, I take a Bangalore as a location. For example, from my BTM location, I want to go for the Malleshwaram. To be frank, I'm very new to that area. I don't know about like how to go, which road I have to take, and everything. So I'll put the destination source inside the Google Maps so that it'll guide me to that destination what I want to drive. So the same thing, like the map is nothing but like it is showing about the way path how I wanted to reach my destination. The same thing, whenever you want to get any request to your server, definitely we require something. It is called route to be added inside the routing table. Without adding routing table, route table is nothing but like entry point whom you want to give the access. Let's say, for example, if you go to any company, if you want to go inside the company, first you have to sign on the security gate. So they will give one ID and they will verify your details. Once they verify the details, after that, if the same persons are verified, then you have allowed to go inside this particular office. That's what exactly that we are going to understanding about the route table. See, route table is nothing but like a permission and entry point to your access to get the what are the input that you have wanted to get it over there. So let me show you about like how we can able to do that. The first we have to go for something. It is called as a route table right now. Click on the create a route table. In the route table, we have to mention about like name right now. If I mention about like Lehen hyphen and go for the public hyphen, after that go for the route table right now. This is nothing but like my route table. So to which VPC we have to create a route table. We can just go for this is nothing but like my VPC. Within this VPC, we had to create a route here right now. Now click on the create a route table. The route table is created. We can see that in this route table, this is the only the IP address which can able to allow the traffic. I mean to say, you can't able to access this particular application or the server to the internet. It will accessible only with this particular IP address range. If you are getting any request with this IP address, then only I can able to access. Otherwise, see now, if I am trying to access this server, the request coming from this particular IP address. What is my IP address right now? It's showing about like 49 dot. We can see 206.123.182. If I'm trying to access this particular server, I'm not able to access because this is what is IP address which I'm trying to give the range, right? So now, if you're going to attach the internet gateway to the route table, if the route table attaches subnet, then we have to call it as a public subnet. See, whenever we talk about something, it is called the public subnet. Let's if I just go for something, it is called as a public subnet right now. The public subnet is basically yeah. If I talk about the public subnet is associated with the internet gateway. That's what we have to understanding about like what is exactly meant by public subnet. The public subnet is basically attached with the internet gateway. So the gateway which you are trying to attach the subnet is going to become the public subnet. So that any resources that we can able to expose in the internet. Let me show you that. If we go there, we have to option called it routes here right now. We have to click on the add route. We have to select the internet. Now we have to go for the internet gateway. See, I'm trying to open this. Whenever you see 0.0.0.0 divided by 0 means you are giving access to internet. That means anyone can able to access all the resources, whatever I have, or whenever deploy the application, anyone able to access through the internet, the application what I deployed. That's what the meaning of right now. We can see that we have the 0.0.0 divided by 0 right now, and we attach the internet gateway. Let's go for something. It is called internet gateway right now. And whatever that we created, we have to attach this right now. This is my internet gateway. Now we have to click on the save changes. Once you added the internet gateway to route table, now we have to go for the subnet association. Now we have to attach this route table to the subnet. Now how we can do that? We have to go for the edit subnet association. We can see that we are trying to attach this subnet to the route table. We can see save associations right now. Now if we go back here, if we just go back to your EC2 instance now, if I go back to the EC2 instance here, if I go for the instances, now we have the instance what we have created. Okay. If we look at my instance ID, we can see that we have this particular VPC. Within the VPC, we have this particular subnet. This subnet associates with the internet gateway, so we can call it the public subnet. Now, can you try to access this server right now? If I go to the click on the connect right now, I'm just trying to copy that EC2 instances right now, go back and start with the putty right now, putty.exe file. Here we are going to provide the host name and appearance. Here make it 14 is nothing but like my sites here. And after that, go to the connection. We had to provide the 60 seconds and SSH and authorization, credentials, click on the browse. Here we had to go for the test-VPC, click on the open. Now you are able to connect your instance. See that? Previously it is showing about like connection timed out, but now I'm able to access the internet. Because this instance is not attached with the route table. The route table has the internet gateway so that I can able to expose the internet. This is, we have to understanding about something. It is called the public subnets. We can see that this is what we have done so far. Have created the route table. This route table is basically attached to this particular subnet, right? This subnet, we can say that we open the internet gateway and we attach this particular route table. That's how we have to understand about the this options right now. Is clear?
Yes.
It's a very important. If you understand about what is public subnet, it is easy to understanding about like what is private subnet. Is it clear? Let me know if once it is clear, guys. Anyone have any questions here? I'm just trying to save this one. Tomorrow we're gonna do it on the same. You have to go for the import, export as a JPG, and I'm just trying to export it. Okay. Yeah. So fine. You guys practice. I'll send you this particular diagram in that our WhatsApp groups. Try to practice. If we are practicing, if you stuck anywhere, if you need any help, put the message in the chat box. I can help you on that. Okay. So, but when you're doing it, please go by the step-by-step practice. That's very important for us. Understand each and every point. What is internet gateway? What is route table? And what is security group that we are trying to creating? What is VPC? All these points you have to understand that one by one. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the tomorrow session.